Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Mark.
And this is Smokey, Steve, and Marc.
Oh, yes, it is.
Welcome or welcome back, and happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Oh, well, I'm going to hold you closer because you're almost out of frame.
Well, I'm getting ready to leave, you know.
He's just dropping by. What brings you here today?
I thought I'd pop in and say hello, you know. I'm not commenting, although I have lots to say.
He does.
But anyway,
But
I'm
that's
here
not why
on a
you're
happy
here.
note.
You're
Yeah.
here on business.
I'm here on business. We have some business to take care of today.
We do.
So we held a contest, right? We did. And a funny story.
It's almost funny.
Guess what I did all day today?
After we found something out.
I take full responsibility for this because
he doesn't have to because I've screwed up too.
I was basing it on what you said, but we're not going to go there. But so the
I just want this to
randomizer
be over.
the randomizer does not have a criteria to randomly pick just subscribers only.
Yeah.
You can do comments. You can do comments of people who are subscribed. You can do Facebook, Instagram. You can do everything except for just subscribers.
You can make a long list with names on it, but that's a lot of yous.
Yeah, it is.
So
So I did learn something, however, though. I learned that we can see a list of all of our subscribers.
Buried in the analytics. There
And so I'm like, okay, so I either have to come on and beg your forgiveness and say, we got to run this another week and you have to re-enter by commenting below. Or I thought we could write everybody's name down.
I'm on the clock.
And draw,
I can't do
draw
that.
it. And I'm like, no, I'll handle this. So what I did, I printed out our list, and
The Ask It basket.
in here are 2,600 and like, I don't even know how many.
He came home with this. I'm like, I'm guessing it didn't go well.
I did do it. I did it at work.
I'm guessing this didn't pan out
Well,
the way we
I
thought.
wanted, you know what? The point of it was, if you're a subscriber, you're entered. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of a way to say thank you for our subscribers.
Yeah,
you know?
you didn't have to do anything extra.
I didn't.
That was the point of
No. To me, it made total sense. total sense that you could pick from your subscriber list. And you know what? I'm making a big deal of it. It really wasn't that hard. I did it at work on my lunch break. I printed the list out, and I started with scissors, but then I went to a box cutter kind of a thing and a ruler. It took me about a half hour to do. It wasn't that bad, really. It wasn't that. I mean, the hardest thing was to get. I don't know if you can see that. Get the name in it. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to dox anybody here. Because, you know, it's so small. If I cut wrong, I would cut it off, you know.
Yeah.
But that was like the hardest part of it. So, but anyway, so everybody's in here, and we thought, you know, for being so stupid, for being so stupid, we're going to extend it.
We are going to go another week.
We're going to do another one.
Different rules, different prize.
Yes, we're going to do the actual randomizer.
So we're going to do leave a comment below this video.
Yes.
We'll do the comment randomizer for it, and the prize will be a $25 Amazon gift card.
Yeah. So we'll do the 51 today, and we'll have another $25 one next week.
So
yes, and I'll post it on Facebook too. Okay.
And all you have to do is comment.
Just
That's it.
comment below. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Okay. All right. Then I got... upside down. Jesus. What is this, like 6-point font?
Well, I could have done 5 per page, but we wouldn't.
We'd have tomes. Mary Beth Wiley.
Mary Beth Wiley! Oh, I don't have the confetti.
Don't throw this.
This would be perfect confetti!
Don't throw this.
Mary Beth Wiley, oh my gosh, congratulations. You are the winner.
$50.
You just scored a $50 Amazon card.
So get in touch with us, or we'll comment on your comment. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, get in touch with us, or we'll get in touch.
Email us or Messenger on Facebook.
Yes, I can send it to you by mail or digitally. Either way, doesn't matter. And congratulations, and thank you so much for everybody who entered. You know, we're really grateful for our subscribers, and we do our best to try to connect and show our gratitude. This is one of the ways we try to do that,
Yeah.
a little bit. And so we do thank you everybody who watches us, and stay tuned, because there's more giveaways. Oh, that's right. We just happen to have another one going right now.
Oh yeah, we do.
We're doing another $25 one.
Next week. Comment below. That's your entry.
Yes. That's all you gotta do.
That's all you gotta do.
And we'll actually do the randomizer.
Yeah,
because I know it works with that.
So we'll be square. We're good.
Yes,
We're
so
good.
congratulations. I'm very, very, very happy. So,
Great. On with the
you
show.
have some business to take care of now.
I do. We have to catch up on a little bit of business.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. All right, I'll let you go.
All right.
It was nice seeing you, everybody. I'll see you next time. Okay. Congratulations, Mary. All right. Bye.
Okay. All right. Bye, Mark.
Bye.
I waved bye to them. It's bye to you. So anyone who's not up on what we're doing, series we're doing is Life After Caretaking. The caretaking began when the person we're following, the channel we're following, which was originally called Cynthia and Thomas Beaumont. Thomas unfortunately passed away from cancer, hit relatively quick about a year ago, and he passed away about 3 months ago. Cynthia is now running the channel. It's changed names a few times, from Cynthia Beaumont to Jersey Girl Journals to Cynthia Talks Tea to My Little Part of the World. So it's changed bit by bit. And we've been checking in every week to see how she's kind of rolling along with life. And the life of the channel and how things are going. Now, there's different themes that have popped up along the way that I've suggested, and others have pointed out with varying degrees of hostility, I guess. Issues about e-begging, gratitude, anger, things like that. This week is a little bit different. Now, there's 2 videos to me that really stuck out. Where is she, dear Cynthia? I have her up, I don't have the remote. One about what's happening to our country. We are in very different times now than we were 6 months ago. And Macy's, saving Macy's. So I'm going to weigh in on those 2 videos particularly. The other videos this week, she was out on a bench, she got outside, I think she went for Brazilian food. She got out of the house, baby steps. She's a baby steps kind of person, so it's, it's okay.
Something like that.
You be nice! Wait, Be Nice Week was 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, there's that. But she's been weighing in on current events, and she lives in New Jersey, which, is right across the street, more or less, the river from New York City. So, I think people think that she has, extra insight into what's going on because she's in close proximity to what's happening, but I'm not so sure. So, again, last week, part of the big deal was that she didn't really apologize for blocking somebody and getting them angry, but she kept their gift anyway. Then she put out a video saying everything was fine, which she better have, because she blocked the woman and kept the gifts. What else did she go through last week? She was suspicious that there may be spies working for them, who may be trying to infiltrate her channel. And interesting to note this week, no tuna, no ramen. No asking for it either. She's got some takeout. She's got Chinese takeout in one of them. So either thanks for buying her groceries so she can get takeout. Y'all need a treat every once in a while. That's fair enough. And if you have been living on tuna and have come into enough money to get yourself some takeout, I suppose there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Assuming that that's, just a treat. So what is happening to our country? This was an interesting video. Now, for anyone who's not been under a rock, in the United States there's been protests, rioting, military been dispatched, Washington, D.C., there's troops all over the Lincoln Memorial, there's a lot of stuff going on in a lot of different cities, and it's panning out a lot of different ways. Sometimes there's police working with protesters, sometimes you're seeing rioters, breaking things, it's panning out all different ways. And by and large, for the first few days of the riots, I think it went into day 8 or 9, the protesters were getting drowned out by the rioters. The people who were doing it peacefully were getting drowned out by the people that were robbing Target, which I don't get. But that's the kind of stuff that's been happening. So she starts going in. Now, she watches Fox News. Now, I'll hold my breath. I watch Fox News, but I watch CNN. and I watch MSNBC, and I watch HLN, and mostly I read my news more than watch TV, because I can kind of hopefully, try to avoid, confirmation bias, with like, oh yeah, I like this news channel because I agree with everything they say. That's not very challenging to your mind. So, apparently she was watching a TikTok video of a man, who was talking about the professional instigators. Now, I did see on a couple far right and far left things about these apparently individuals, could be male, could be female, in plain attire who have a lot of equipment and aren't designated with markings, saying that they're civilian, military, no-name markings, no branch of the military, and they're kind of there. They look like stormtroopers from Star Wars dyed black. And she mentions them. I don't know what their role is. I don't know why they're there. But Cynthia seems to think that she's kind of got it figured out. That there's more going on in the world. That she's outraged. That this was an out-and-out attack on our country. That we're being infiltrated from within. And she said that she would be perfectly willing to fight back. She had a hammer. The image of her with a hammer is funny. I know. She said, these are not our people. The cops stand down because they've infiltrated our country. Okay, I don't know who they are that's infiltrating. There's something to be said for civil unrest that grows within a nation, and fringe groups that like to send their message with bricks hurling through windows or possibly setting fires. I'm not sure that sends the message that was initially meant to be delivered by protesters after the events that started all this with George Floyd. So that's what she's kind of, focused on. And she says, which I agree with, who benefits from burning down a car? She says it won't do anything or stop anything. Well, it will get people's attention. In a good way? No. 15,000 people kneeling in the street, I don't have a problem with. It blocks traffic, oh well. 15,000 people running down Fifth Avenue breaking windows, that's a little more concerning, I think. It will get somebody's attention, but what happens with that attention, And who's behind all that? There's got to be someone behind it. Cynthia can't fathom that a bunch of people can each individually be upset, come together and share that concern, and then mobilize to do something about it. I don't think it occurs to her that could happen. So, there's someone behind it. She repeatedly says there's somebody behind it. I'm guessing if Cynthia continues to watch certain news outlets, it's going to be Jeff Bezos, the Koch brothers. Somebody is going to be behind it that is paying people to go out and start trouble. And if you read the comments under some of her videos, you'll understand the kind of ideas that surround Cynthia, and the kind of people who carry these kind of ideas that agree with her. There's very interesting dialogue that happens underneath a video like this. For anyone's edification, don't use Cynthia Beaumont as a news channel. Don't use it as like prime time anything.
No, please, no, do not.
Yeah, don't take her at her word or assume that because she's in close proximity to New York City that she understands what's happening in New York City. We'll get to Macy's in a minute. So, she did say, why is this country obsessed with race? It's easy not to be when you're white. That's me. We're going editorial a little bit here, but not too much, because this is more about Cynthia and how she's reacting to this. It's not supposed to be as much a commentary on the whole situation, but my opinion's gonna seep through probably anyway. Why is the country obsessed with race? I don't care about color. Well, sometimes people who aren't white do care about their color because they're treated differently because of their color, and they're treated differently in institutions because of their color. So it's easy for me to not care about your color, but your color may have caused you problems it hasn't caused me. So there could be something to that. How many white women are killed every day? There's no protests over that. Well, I do recall, my fair lady, I save that for Chantal usually. This was the first time when I was still, friends with Cynthia, I left a negative comment, and I'm surprised I wasn't blocked. There was a women's march going on, was it in Manhattan, might have been in New Jersey, and she complained that it was blocking the bus traffic, and that if people wanted to do it, they should do it somewhere else, and if they really cared about women's rights, to go volunteer at a women's shelter. So there was a parade for women, and that bothered her too. So, whatever. I don't know. Why not this? Why not that? Why not that? Well, this is what we're addressing now, and if Cynthia wants to dedicate her time and energy to those causes, I would support her in doing that. I don't think she will. I don't think the other causes that she thinks need attention, she's going to go out and start a GoFundMe and start a charity. She makes a point, that these other things need attention, but that's not what we're focusing on right in this very moment. And don't blow it back in people's faces and say you care about women when you bitched about the Women's March. So, save Macy's, New York City, and Chit Chat. So we're talking about the destruction of Macy's, and this is a very tear-filled video. Now, I'm going to meet Cynthia halfway in some of this stuff. Don't. Okay? Don't. She starts talking about Macy's and it being important to her, and it being an important part of New York, and then being an important part of the country. Now, I'm going to follow her halfway, and then we're gonna split as far as agreeing on this. Destruction of Macy's, she was in tears. It does so much for New York City. Macy's. She was more upset about Macy's than about the cops maybe getting injured trying to protect the rest of the city, or protesters getting trampled on by rioters. This was more concerning to her. There was only one cop protecting Macy's. She was disgusted. Totally disgusted. She was crying. She burst into tears. It's the heartbeat of New York. Macy's is the heartbeat of New York. Now, she's not just talking about Macy's, I understand. Macy's, to me, it's a store. They sell stuff. They sell shit. Like, they don't sell insulin. They don't make ventilators. They sell stuff, okay? Clothing is a need, but, Macy's, really? But I get that there's a special significance for Macy's in New York, because Macy's is something that is a destination. And she says this, and she's right, that when people come to New York, they look for it. There's people who go to at Christmas to look at the windows. It's part of a holiday trip if you go see the Christmas show in Macy's windows, and it's been there for decades, and it's a tradition. She mentions the Thanksgiving Day parade and the fireworks. So it is having a little bit more significance locally. That particular store has more significance. So I can see where she makes the case for it being a little more integrated and important in New York City. More than the Statue of Liberty? I don't think so. That's me. Just my thoughts on that. And she also says they employ a lot of African American people, which to her means if they employ African American people, then no African American person should ever be mad or say anything bad about it or walk. If you know what I'm talking about, you know exactly what I'm talking about with a statement like that. So people come in from all over the world to see Macy's. I don't know if they come to see Macy's specifically, but I think it's on a lot of people's bucket list to go see. For the mayor to not protect it, it's such an important part of New York. Now, there's probably other places that need protecting, like places with people, not stuff. I would argue a church maybe would want to be protected. Things with a longer history, places that are sacred and worship. And I understand that when there's umpteen number of rioters, and X number of police, they have to prioritize. And saving a store is just might not be a priority in that given moment. Cynthia thinks it should be protected by the military because it's America's heartbeat. It's a fucking store. It shouldn't be damaged. It shouldn't be vandalized. That proves nothing. That doesn't send the message that I think is meant to be sent by those who were close to the gentleman who was murdered. And that's not what his family has said that he would want, and that's not what other faith leaders in various communities have said would be a great way to remember him. So, no, I don't agree with the actions of it. But it's like you feel like someone's like physically beating a person in the middle of the street the way she's talking about a store. It's just curious, I know. And she wants to have tanks like going down the street. Like, really? I don't know. She said she never thought she'd see New York fall ever. Now, for anyone who's worried, I live 2 hours from New York City. When I was in school as a kid, you could get from New York City interstate driving just under 2 hours. We would always go to like a Broadway show and dinner, and it was always at a chain restaurant. It was always a matinee because they'd put us in like a cheese bus, like a school bus, and drive us from here to there, and they drop us off and take us back. So I had probably been to New York just for like touristy trips, maybe half a dozen times by the end of high school. Plus I had a friend who loved New York and eventually moved there, and he would want to go all the time. Then when I was in college, I would visit pretty frequently. Manhattan is still there. It's still there. And, you know, she's saying that the mayor and they don't want to do anything about it. Again, that's her perspective on what's going on. She's perfectly allowed to have an opinion on what's going on at the moment. I'm not saying she shouldn't. I think it's curious what informs her opinions, and I think her interpretation of what's important and what's not. You know, stuff's replaceable. People aren't. So, and criminals should be held accountable, whether they're police officers or rioters. I believe that's fair too. Or should I say murderers or rioters? Not all police are murderers, but alleged, accused. We'll talk about the 4 gentlemen there. So, no taxes, no stores. What stores are going to want to open in Manhattan? I don't know that Macy's was single-handedly keeping Manhattan afloat, or New York City. It's the financial center of the world, as far as I knew, like Wall Street and banking and stuff. So I think there's probably enough money coming in and out of New York to keep it going, even if Macy's folded. Macy's had been losing money due to COVID, I understand. So you lay that one against the other, and, you know. But if Macy's is going to fold, it's not going to be because somebody threw a brick through a window. It's going to be because of COVID, that they lost business for months on end and had to do mail order and had to close retail stores. So, I mean, that's probably more likely to do damage to that business. Still not right to break a window, but I understand the aggravation. So, they destroyed the city. And again, said New York would destroyed. It's not on fire. Otherwise, we would have 8 million displaced people trudging into upstate New York and New Jersey. It's still there. People live there. It's still there. You know, Cuomo isn't giving his, you know, daily briefings from a bunker. You know, he's above ground with the lights on, talking to the rest of us, you know, trying to lead as best he can. You know, I'm in Pennsylvania. I'll leave comments about that to New Yorkers, I guess. So yeah, it's not really a retail economy so much. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. Then someone brought up the Indian store, and should you call it an Indian store and is a Spanish store a bodega? I don't know. I don't want to split hairs with bigotry about Cynthia Beaumont. And towards the end, where I had to shut it off, I don't believe in protesting in the street with a sign on the sidewalk out of everyone's way. So, there's been peaceful protests around the idea of people who feel that the police are very aggressive and are targeting certain skin colors. And there's been peaceful protests people have done, you know, kneeling during football games, saying things during Oscar speeches, saying stuff during Broadway plays, athletes wearing stuff on their shirts, and those things were met with heavy rebuke of shut up and mind your own business. Those were all peaceful, even if not welcome. So peaceful protests have been practiced along this line. And the responses have been mixed. So, but the fact that people should protest out of her way and stay on the sidewalk, she'd be the first person to say, they're crowding the sidewalk. I need to get through. So, I'm at a loss. I don't even know. Mark!
Yeah?
Come here for a second.
Oh.
I need to gather my thoughts.
I'm here.
For a second. Where the hell are my glasses?
I'm here.
Okay, so...
You're flustered. Are you talking about CB?
Yeah, well, we got onto Macy's. And like I said, I meet her halfway with that.
Yes.
Because you guys know Mark, he's right here. He was just here, he's still here. I get that Macy's is important to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to her specifically, because I know her and Tommy had traditions surrounding Macy's.
Yeah,
that
they
the two
always
of them
went there together.
They went together.
Yeah.
They went at Christmas. I think they had a
Absolutely.
Christmas tradition. They would go and get their picture with Santa, like they're 5. But
Yeah.
it was a thing they did. They did it when they were courting.
Yeah.
And it's their little tradition that they like to do it. So it holds a special significance to her.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the heartbeat of America? I thought Chevrolet was the heartbeat of America.
Just gonna say, that's Chevrolet.
I thought it was Chevrolet.
No, I don't think
Which is
it's-
also ridiculous.
It's not the heartbeat of America, no.
I don't know.
I mean, it's iconic. I mean,
Yeah.
when you think of New York City, you think of the Empire State Building, the
Statue.
Statue of Liberty,
Yeah.
you know, things like that. And
Macy's
Macy's
is
would
in
pop up in there.
It's in the top 10 or
Absolutely.
20 of things that you want to see.
Absolutely. I think of Christmas time. I think of,
Exactly.
you know, like things like that. Yeah.
So it has special significance in and around New York as a
Yeah.
destination. But the Macy's at our local mall means effing nothing to me.
Nothing,
It
no.
means it's a store.
Right.
I mean, it's a retail space. I wouldn't want people to lose their jobs who work there, of course.
No.
And if, you know, the business folded, that would be not good, like any other business folding. But, I don't know. I mean, they sell men's fragrance. That's nice. It's hard to get around here anywhere else.
Well, yeah.
That's
So
that's
what's
much
the
as-
question?
I don't know.
I know.
Is the-
This was an interesting week.
I don't know. It really, I don't think was very flattering to her. I know she got some negative feedback, and I know
Yeah.
it's not reflected in her comments because she moderates them very heavily.
Oh, I know. If you look at her, yeah, exactly. You would think that everybody agrees with her and everything, but if you watch them and you know, in real time, it's very disimportant. Like, there's a lot more negative comments, but she takes them all out.
Oh, do you know
she
Macy's
deletes
loves gay
them.
people, by the way, too?
I did hear
Yeah,
that.
they give money to GLAAD. They had that drag show.
Yeah.
'Cause
yeah,
that's-
I heard that.
Yeah, because nothing's more stereotypically gay than having a drag show.
I know. It's
So-
just too much. But while
don't
you
know.
have me here,
Yeah, if you want to stick your head in.
you know, the best thing ever. Did you guys see when Hunter bit her? Best thing ever. Oh.
I was going to leave it out. So, what's the lesson in this for all of us?
Yeah.
Now that we're at the end of what's the
that's-
lesson?
The lesson is do not listen to.
First of all, don't use Cynthia as a news anchor.
Yes.
Take with a grain of salt what she
Take
is telling.
anything from that video.
Take with a grain of salt what she is telling you about the state of New York, about how the cities are going, about who's showing up at protests. There's a lot of information and misinformation all stirred together that's all circling. It changes daily. But Cynthia's information is... A lot of it's fringe information. A lot of it comes from fringe sources that aren't exactly... I want to say vetted, you know? Just a thought. I disagree with her thoughts on protesting. I don't disagree with her thoughts really about rioting. I get the motivation, I get the anger, and I'm all for protesting. Block the street, lay down in the street. I don't care. It's streets. No one's gonna get hurt. Well, don't do it by a hospital, okay? But there's always caveats to everything. See, everyone has their own opinions and their own boundaries on this stuff, and she has hers, but hers seem to prioritize a store as the landmark to be, you know, of all the landmarks in New York City that she holds dear, it's Macy's. You know, nothing says New York like Macy's. So I guess my take is, yes, I can see why Macy's is important to her. No, it is not the heartbeat of America. It is important to her. It is relevant to the city of New York, but as far as the world, no, it's not that big of a deal, which I think they decided in New York, which is why there was probably only one cop or so guarding it. Because it's more important to protect people than stuff. That's my take on that. As far as what she thinks is happening to our country, I don't know either. I don't pretend to have any solutions to any of the stuff that's going on. Certainly I don't want to... What did she say? Get a gun. I wrote this down because it stuck out at me. It was something along the lines of kill 'em all and let God sort 'em out. What was it? Get a gun and just zoom along and kill them all. So yeah, kill 'em all, let God sort 'em out. Because why not? I guess. So, We're just gonna leave that there because I have no way to wrap this up. I have no way to wrap this up.
I know, what a bizarre week.
Pick your heroes carefully.
Yeah.
Pick your news sources carefully. I wouldn't use anybody on YouTube as a news source. Me, her, or anybody else, frankly. I don't even know. I don't even know.
It's okay. It's okay. I know.
I know.
All right.
But they're gonna burn down my favorite store. At any rate, thank you all for watching. A lot of divergent opinions around this topic. I'm leaving the comment section open. The only thing I would ever delete out of there was, like, you know, racial epithets or, you know, threats or slurs or anything like that. Otherwise, it's wide open, so feel free to comment. Thank you all for watching. Please do subscribe. Hit the like button and the bell on your way out so you get the alerts. You can follow Mark and I on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Our email address and contact info is all listed down below. Thank you again, and we will catch up with y'all tomorrow. Have a good Thursday. Bye.